We build systems to feel safe, unaware they are slowly building walls around us. We chase control as if it were love, as if mastery over life could replace intimacy with it. At first, it feels like peace, the schedules, the color-coded plans, the perfectly folded sheets. But peace, that depends on order, is fragile, like silence depending on the absence of sound. We forget that life was never meant to be symmetrical. We keep rearranging the furniture of our existence, hoping chaos will forget where we live. Every list, every rule, every notification is a small prayer against uncertainty. But what if uncertainty was never the enemy? What if it was the only proof that we're alive? Control starts as comfort and ends as confinement. We hold the reins so tightly that we strangle the very horse we wanted to ride. Our calendars become cages, and our rituals become rehearsals for a life that never begins. We call it discipline, but sometimes it's just fear wearing a tidy mask. Fear of missing something, fear of losing something, fear of feeling too much. We name our fears goals and our anxiety standards. We build an empire of habits and call it progress. And every morning, we wake up inside the same invisible machinery we swore we controlled. The illusion of order becomes the order of illusion. We tidy the room but forget the storm inside us. We color code our chaos, hoping it will look beautiful in the light. But order cannot cure emptiness, it only decorates it. Our lives start resembling waiting rooms, everything clean, everything in place, and nothing happening. The more we control, the less we trust, the more we plan, the less we listen. We begin to live like curators of our own museum, preserving memories instead of making them. The pursuit of control is a quiet panic disguised as responsibility. It makes us mistake rigidity for strength, repetition for safety. And so we tighten our grip until our hands forget how to feel. Control becomes the thing controlling us. It dictates who we must be, how we must feel, and when it's acceptable to fall apart. We think we are protecting ourselves, but we're only protecting our masks. And behind every mask, a human trembling, desperate to breathe. The illusion of order ruins our peace because peace cannot be forced into shape. Peace is not a checklist. It is the breath between what we plan and what we lose. Somewhere along the way, we confused control with care. We thought managing life was the same as living it. We forgot that life's beauty often arrives unannounced, messy, late, unexplainable. Like laughter during a funeral or tears at a birthday. We tried to tame the river and ended up killing its sound. The flow we once danced with became the current we fight against. And in trying to hold everything together, we started losing the parts of ourselves that could still let go. We lost the art of trust, the courage to surrender, the ability to rest without guilt, the quiet joy of not knowing what's next. We lost spontaneity, that wild pulse that once made us feel infinite. We traded freedom for predictability and called it maturity. But maybe growing up was never about control. Maybe it was about learning to hold things lightly, to let them breathe. Because control suffocates what it cannot understand. It cuts the wings of what doesn't fit the plan. And soon, the world becomes smaller, tittier, duller. We start managing emotions instead of feeling them. We speak in schedules instead of stories. We measure love in response time, and effort in exhaustion. And every day, we become a little more efficient, and a little less alive. The illusion of order whispers that if we just do everything right, we will be safe. But safety without aliveness is just a beautiful kind of numbness. We seek perfection not because we want to improve, but because we fear being seen as incomplete. And yet, imperfection is the only doorway to intimacy. To be known is to be unfinished. To be loved is to be chaotic in someone else's arms and still be allowed to stay. But control hates chaos. It tries to edit love until it's lifeless. We schedule passion. We filter desire, we sanitize truth, until our lives resemble algorithms, precise, consistent, and entirely devoid of wonder. Control is the religion of those who fear the unknown more than they love the possible. But peace begins when we dare to stop managing existence, when we allow things to be slightly broken, slightly late, slightly human, when we choose presence over perfection, when we understand that order is not the opposite of chaos. It is born from it. The universe itself expands because it is unfinished. Maybe that's what peace really is, not the absence of disorder, but the acceptance of movement. Maybe control was never meant to save us, only to teach us where we stop trusting. And maybe the moment we finally let go is not a fall, but a return to the flow, the laughter, the silence that doesn't need to be scheduled, a return to being alive, not organized. Because the truth is, life cannot be managed, only met, and sometimes, the most beautiful thing we can do is to stop holding everything and let it all hold us.